We're live. Yay, happy Tuesday. I had Rob, my videographer, remind me that today is Tuesday. I was like, no, it's Monday. He's like, it's Tuesday. So happy Tuesday. I'm Alexandra Harbushka, founder of Life with Herpes, founder of alexandraharbushka.com, founder of the Sleep Society Wellness Products. I'm excited to be here with you. We have the live retreat coming up very, 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 very soon. It is July 30th, 31st, and August 1st. I'm excited to, if you guys haven't signed up, I'm excited to see you there. If you have signed up, oh my gosh, or if you haven't signed up, I encourage you to sign up. If you have signed up and you are coming, I cannot wait to see you. We just offered a payment plan option, so I'm really excited about that. So that's gonna be great. We offer payment plans. There's a lot of cool stuff happening though. It is hosted cocktails Friday night, hosted meals Saturday, hosted brunch Sunday, and then we're gonna go to the pool, lots of fun stuff. And then of course we have guest speakers coming in to talk about herpes and get us out of this Eeyore phase, get us out of the stigma. All right, there were tons of questions that were asked today, lots of them. Let me see if I have time to go through them all. I hope so. Do I still have cuddle time when I'm having an outbreak? Absolutely. I make sure not to expose my husband to it, so I make sure the area is covered. But yeah, absolutely, we have cuddle time. There's nothing different in our life just because I have an outbreak or think I'm having an outbreak. We go through life as normal. We just won't have sex, or I won't expose him to it. And if we want to be intimate, we get creative and do it in different ways. So that's how we do it. Yeah, please feel free to ask your questions here. Hey Ash, how are you? Okay, I was wondering why you decided not to take lysine while breastfeeding. I was instructed by my doctor not to take it because there are no tests, or there's no studies, or there's not a lot of information done on women who are breastfeeding. It's not something that they are like, ooh, lysine's a major thing we need to test or do studies or background on. So I've decided not to. It is extremely helpful though. The lysine does help tremendously in help suppressing the virus and help keeping it dormant. So I did not take it while I was pregnant, and I'm not taking it while I'm breastfeeding. There's a few things I wish I could do, but I'm breastfeeding, like Botox. I miss, like, I don't like that. I miss when it was like that all the time. But hey, it's worth it. It's worth it with my little baby. All right, yeah, feel free to ask your questions here. Oh good, I'm glad you're doing well. Hi. Love all the highs. All right. Next question I see. How do you avoid getting HSV-1 to my future partner? Can we not kiss? It depends on where you have HSV. So HSV-1 or 2, doesn't matter where you have it. If you have HSV oral, so if you have HSV-1 or 2 orally, you can still have genital sex or like vaginal sex because it doesn't like just go that way. It just, this is the area. If you have oral herpes, this is where you're contagious. If you have genital herpes, that's where you're contagious. So it doesn't matter what type or strain you have, it just depends on the location. So you can absolutely kiss. The way I look at it is as long as your partner knows and is aware that you have this, then you're able to go forward however you and your partner agree to proceed. I have oral herpes, I have genital herpes. I kiss my husband every day, I kiss my baby every day. My husband and I have sex, and that's, you know, it's part of life. Yes, can I transmit it to my husband or my child? Yes, I can. But I make those choices to say my life is normal. I'm not gonna like be different and like walk around like this because I have oral herpes. So I would say it's a matter of communicating this with your partner and making sure that they're comfortable with it. Is genital HSV-1 less contagious than genital HSV-2? I wouldn't say it's less contagious. It's still contagious. Typically people with genital HSV-1 have less outbreaks. I don't know why, but typically they have less outbreaks than people with genital HSV-2. So you could say that potentially it is less contagious because less outbreaks, but I wouldn't say that the virus itself is less contagious. Is it bad to take the antivirals daily, or should you only take them when you have an outbreak? This is a great question for your doctor, and it's a great question to have with your medical provider. The antivirals work really, really great at keeping the virus dormant in our system. Some people take the antiviral daily to prevent, as a prophylactic, to prevent outbreaks. Some people take it only when they have outbreaks. Me personally, I take it only when I have outbreaks, because that's just where I am at this point in my relationship and in my life. I've chosen not to take it daily. However, when I was newly dating my husband and also dating other people, I took it daily to prevent transmission, and I was at a point in my life where I just couldn't handle the extra stress of getting an outbreak. So I would say talk to your doctor. I would say based on where you are in your life, both options are great. If you don't get outbreaks, then a lot of times it's like, why are you taking something that you don't get outbreaks for? I've talked to so many people that have never had an outbreak, but they take the antiviral. I'm like, well, you don't know if you even get outbreaks. So let's just see what your body does. If you're getting multiple outbreaks, then yeah, it's really helpful to help prevent those outbreaks. Does Clinton using your lipstick give you anxiety? I have HSV1 and I have fear of kissing your son's face. So no, it doesn't. I just can't, personally, I can't go there with it. Clinton's gonna touch things that I've touched. She's gonna share things with me that I've had. Actually, I think I'm getting a cold sore today as we're speaking. I get one, I don't know, it's like my 4th one ever, and I've had this for almost 20 years. So you can't even see it. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting one. I don't know. And when I realized it today, I had just kissed him on this cheek, and then I sat down to eat lunch, and I was eating, I had lemon juice, and I was like, oh, I must have a cut on my lip because it's really sensitive. Well, I looked in the mirror. It looks like potentially I'm getting a cold sore. I don't know. What I immediately did was washed Clinton's cheek and was like, this is all I can do. I can't stress about it. I did what I can do. I may or may not have transmitted it to him. I may or may not even have a cold sore. I don't know. Will my heart be heavy if I did? Of course, but I also feel like I can't prevent him from getting this. There's many other people in his life that have it, that are with him daily, that have HSV1. So he's also, he's going to be exposed to it. It's just part of life. So I try not to stress myself out over these little things like him taking my lipstick and eating it. I was more, honestly, I was more stressed about him taking it and getting it on my sofa because I have a white sofa, honestly. Okay, let me get to the next question. How common or likely is it to have an outbreak while on the antiviral? It's not very common. It does happen, of course. Let's see, I was on the antiviral for 3 years and I had 1 outbreak in 3 years, and it was at the end of the 3 years. It wasn't a year into it. It was 3 years with no outbreaks. So it does happen. It depends on your stress level, depends on what you're doing, it depends on a lot of things, but foods and things like that. But it's not as common. The antiviral works really well at keeping it dormant or preventing it. Or if you do get an outbreak, it's very mild. Do herpes outbreaks cause us to produce more vaginal discharge? Yes and no. I have heard of people saying they do have a little more vaginal discharge when they have an outbreak. It's almost weepy. That's how I would describe it, but I wouldn't say that there's more discharge on a daily basis. Question, can your fluids during sex cause an outbreak on a partner even if you're using a condom? So the fluids don't contain the herpes virus. This is not a fluid virus. This is a skin-to-skin transmission virus. It's not a blood virus, so it's not intervaginal fluid or a semen. It's skin-to-skin. What can happen is, let's say you have an active outbreak, the saliva, let's say I have an oral outbreak, let's say I use my saliva for potentially lubricant or something like that, that saliva could potentially contain the herpes virus. So it can be a vehicle, but our fluids don't host the virus, if that makes sense. Anyone who has cold sores mean they have herpes? Yeah, cold sores are herpes. So yeah, anyone that's oh, I don't have herpes, but I get cold sores, that is herpes. So yeah, make that very clear. After rough sex, how can you tell if any sores or cuts are herpes or not? I would say For me personally, I would say that anything that is tender and that does not, like a pimple you can pop. I would say herpes you can't really pop, and if you do, it's like a oozy, liquidy blister. Like a pimple like has like white stuff. I would say that, you know, like the herpes doesn't, it's like an oozy blister. I would say if it's extremely painful, then that's probably it. Like, are you talking about chafing and also shaving? Like, we can get that misconstrued. I would say if you're thinking it's an outbreak, then aim on the fact that it's an outbreak. Does shedding occur only where the spot where the lesion normally manifests, or in the entire genital area? I can't answer that for sure, but most likely it's right where you get your outbreaks. I get canker sores in my mouth that's white. It's different from cold sores. Yeah, inside your mouth is different. Those are typically canker sores. If you are concerned, people do get cold sores or they get herpes outbreaks in their mouth. If you are concerned, I would have that swabbed, but canker sores are different than herpes. If you haven't had an outbreak for years, can you still be shedding? Yeah, if you haven't had an outbreak in years, you can still shed it or transmit it. Absolutely, which is unfortunate, but you still can. Hey Alexandra, are there other ways to reduce transmission than daily antiviral? Yes. Taking lysine supplements is very helpful in preventing transmission. It's not the same potency as, say, an antiviral, but it can lower, it helps the reduce the it helps suffocate the virus and helps it from replicating. Obviously, when the virus is replicating is when we're contagious, and it's going to cause an outbreak. What does shedding mean? So shedding is when the virus, just like any other living being, like if I were to put my hands through my hair, I didn't get any, but like usually I can get a hair, my hair sheds, the cells on my skin shed, the leaves fall down, that's shedding. The virus itself is shedding. It's like a snake shedding its skin, and that point is the virus pops up to the surface of the skin. There's no outbreak, there's no symptom, there's no sign, and at that point you are potentially contagious. Well, you are contagious, you just don't know when or where or how, you don't feel it. My new partner told me he has HSV2 and is reluctant to take antivirals. Am I being unreasonable to ask him to take antivirals? No, not at all. It's your health, your body. So it's a matter of deciding what you and your partner both feel comfortable with. So if it's like the condom talk. One feels comfortable with a condom, one doesn't. Well, that's not right. You both are not comfortable. So you both need to decide what you both feel comfortable with. Eventually, of course, the condom comes off. Eventually, of course, at some point, you're not going to take the antiviral. But I would say definitely in the beginning of a relationship, the antiviral is going to be the best way to prevent transmission to a partner. Is it safe or recommended to take the antivirals daily or only on the onset of an outbreak? I already answered that question. It's going to be up to you and your doctor. Question, how likely would you pass HSV2 without condoms? I like not using them, but want to hear, but he wants to wear them and makes me feel sad and kind of dirty. The likely of transmitting herpes from a herpes positive male to a non-positive female is 10%. So you have a 10% chance that it's going to be transmitted. From a herpes positive female to a negative male, you have a 4% chance of transmission. And that's not using the antiviral, that's not using a condom, and that's not with an outbreak. So you have a 4% chance. So it's still pretty low. Obviously, taking the antiviral lessens it significantly. It will lessen that by 48%. I think I've answered all these questions. Yeah, I've answered all the questions. All right, guys, I loved being with you here today. I'm going through, making sure I answered everything. I just appreciate every single one of you, and I hope to see you at the retreat. It's going to be so much fun. Oh, if you think you have it, but the clinic tells you it wasn't found in your test, is there still a chance? Yeah. If your blood test can come back negative because you don't have the antibodies. What we're checking for in the blood is the antibodies, not actually the herpes virus. So a lot of times it'll take our body a while to build up those antibodies. Hello, what are the do not in foreplay? What do we not? We do normal foreplay. I don't know. I mean, if I have an outbreak, of course we don't, but everything's normal. It's going to be up to you and your partner. Like, some people will use gloves, some people use dental dams. Some people use condoms for oral sex. It's just depending on what you and your partner want to do. Cool. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have an awesome rest of your Tuesday, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.